So, as I was saying, maybe you are not a leader, okay? Maybe you're a follower, and that's totally fine. Not all of us have the answers or the ability to guide others. It is not something that most people even want to do. Most people would like to live their lives in peace and quiet and do whatever the fuck they want to do. But, you know, some of us have a job to lead people, and that's fine. So if you are somebody who's not a leader and you have to follow, most of the time you want to make sure you're following is the right person, right? So I want to make sure that the God I'm praying to is the right God, right? I ain't gonna start making promises to some, you know, random things that I don't know anything about, alright? Being a follower could be a lot easier, in my opinion, or it could be a lot harder depending on who it is that comes into your life to lead you, right? Some people, I would say a lot of people need to meditate and focus really on the decisions that they make. So before you decide to follow some kind of creepy cult, you know, make sure that you know what you're doing before doing it. It could be very difficult. A lot of people could be very easily fooled, okay? And this is kind of what I'm trying to get to. How do we not get fooled, okay? Whew. And that can be kind of hard, but it can be really easy if you make the effort, okay? A lot of people need to make the effort to see what's in front of their very own eyes. And a lot of the times we don't see what's in front of us because we're very caught up and we have this going on, we got that going on, we have a bunch of things going on in life. So, of course, we're going to, you know, overlook very important things. I kind of think that that's the idea, okay? Like, say you have a husband or wife and you're trying to get them to, I don't know, do better with you. I don't know, I'm getting this vision of, like, you know, somebody's like with their daughter and they're with their husband or whoever this person is, and they're like trying to like get things to be working more smoothly between all three of them. And this man is just like, nah. Because whatever this woman had been doing, had been tricking him, had been fooling him. Because, or he was causing drama and problems in order to sabotage the situation. Because he was cheating, I guess, on her or the other way around. And it was basically just a tactic. You know, if you have an unruly partner that every time, or a friend even, that you get together with and everything just falls apart while you're with this person, that's either because they're, you know, they're trying to make bad things, or they really are just bad luck and bad karma. There are people like that, and you just can't be around them because they will always cause some kind of issue. Those people, you want to say, oh, they're cursed. No, they have bad karma, or they have bad energy. Negative energy attracts negative energy. So if I sit here and I say, I hate every effing person, you're all POSs, you're all this, all men are disgusting. If I say stuff like that, I'm probably going to, well, for one, have to become a lesbian, because I don't think any guys are gonna want me around if I keep talking crap about men. But number two, people are going to realize there's some kind of issue with me. Okay, if I go around and I start hating on all the men, okay, they're gonna see, okay, well, you've been hurt. But also, like I said, the tactics, the people will try to cause a bunch of issues in your life in order for you not to see what it is that they are doing. Okay, and that's something that a lot of people do when it comes to trying to mislead you. Okay, this is about leading and being misled. Alright, so if you are being misled, there are a few things that I would really look at when it comes to everything. It's just constantly saying to meditate on things and speak up, ask questions. Okay, if you're going to spend a portion of your life in any shape or form, you need to ask questions to see if it's a legitimate situation. Okay, whether it's like a new company that is hiring you or a new brand deal or something. Okay, thank you. You gotta just sit on it, talk, ask questions, ask the right questions, and you'll get specific answers. Okay, you'll know if certain things are fated or not. When it comes to like childhood friends trying to lead you down, okay, say you got a childhood friend coming back and they're like, hey, I want you to invest in Batcoin. Okay, Batcoin is not even real. Okay, it's some BS. It's basically a false Bitcoin operation. But say I want you to believe in it. And I'm giving you this whole spiel about how great it is and how much money you'll be making and da 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 da. But I know I'm misleading you. Somewhere beneath my my cool facade, there's some kind of underlying I want to say like a tick, whether it's facial, whether it's... I like to try and do 3 truths and a lie. Alright? Ask somebody 3 things that are true and 1 thing that's a lie. And see how that 1 thing that's a lie is. Like, what kind of lie is it? Okay, for 1. And, like, is it a weird lie? Is it like, how much money do I make? Do I make 4 million? 5 million? 8 million? Okay, that kind of question. And I say, oh, I only make 4 million. And it's because, before I had Batcoin, I couldn't make this 8 million. It's all BS. Like, you can really see the fabrication in someone's lies if you meditate on it and you ask specific questions. Okay, that's why I would think that the meditation is there for. It's almost like somebody giving you an opportunity to kind of like out them. So thinking of the correct question will always be able to pretty much guide you. Okay, being able, okay, say I want to ask this representative of Batcoin, let's see, the best question I could ask is, can you provide actual people that have invested and show me what their actual growth is? And I want these actual people here. Okay? And if they can't do that, there could be a reason. There could be like, oh, some of my investors, all of my investors live all over the world. Okay, there's no reason you can't Zoom call one of these people so that I can speak to them. And I should be able to speak to any one of these people. If it's legitimate, I'll be able to call a few of those people. They'll actually be legitimate. Some of them will be happy, some of them won't. Or like they'll be able to give secondhand an idea of what it is. But see, that's where I get a little bit worried, because it's like, well, how do you know these aren't people that work with these people? I'm a paranoid motherfucker. So I need to be given more information all the time. The more information that you ask for, I would say the more legitimate you can actually see something being. And I know this is a weird topic because it's like, when are we going to be misled? But this is a time, okay? People are really desperate for money. They really are desperate for money. They're desperate for, even just people's time at this point. It's a little sad. It's like people are just getting really desperate right now, okay? And I don't agree with it. But it happens. People can be very desperate for money, for all kinds of things. and they'll have like their friends lie and da da da. All you gotta do is really, depending on the situation, is create the perfect questions that somebody couldn't answer unless it was a legitimate situation and operation. And me personally, I don't know enough about Bitcoin to ask those types of questions. But if I was to do some research and different things like that, I would be able to ask specific questions. The stocks and stuff could be really confusing, to be honest. I haven't quite, dabbled in it enough, I'll be honest. But I'm not saying go and invest in that shit. This is my example. Well, this is my example. So pretty much, I could be one of those special people, from hell, that's just like able to lie to you very, very good. Okay. So what happens is, if somebody is able to get over on you, remember everything they said, remember the things they did, remember how, even the way they smelled, like every little detail is very important, okay? And when you ask a specific person questions, I would say look for their body language, okay? This is why I don't like conversations over the phone. I don't mind text messages, but I don't really like conversations over the phone because it's like, if I can't see like your actual face, your actions, it's kind of weird. It's like, somebody could be like, if I wanted, I could be on the phone with two different guys in front of me, and I could be, whacking them off, and I'm on the phone just talking normal. That's That's just an example of why I don't like phone calls, because you can't see the actual person, you can't see their face, you can't see what they're doing, you can't see their reactions. I like to see someone's reaction because usually that tells me a lot. Okay? And thank you. And I would say that conversation is half of the important thing. Thank you guys for the gifts. The most important thing is the tone. I know that sounds weird, but like, this is how I have actually learned who's a narcissist and who's not. There's a specific tone in a particular voice, whether it's authentic or fake. Okay, and authentic and fake, they are different tones and reactions. It's based on the words that they say and the tone that is used. Okay? Hello. Thank you. And, the tone is very important because there's an inflection behind it. Alright? Whether somebody's being genuine or not, like, you could hear there's like a pretty good, steady tone to my voice throughout the entire time. I'm not like, maybe, yeah, there's a very specific tone. It means that I know what I'm talking about and what I'm saying is true for the most part. Okay, a lot of this is just me trying to remember certain things so that I can kind of drum up this stuff. But it's like, a lot of the times people will look in specific directions. Okay, if somebody's lying, they will usually look to the right and up because they're making something up. Okay, these are different tone. These are different. What do we call them? They're visual. Fuck. What was it called? It's basically like being able to visually see if somebody's lying or not. So a lot of people will scratch the back of their head when they're being dishonest. They could also be itchy. It really depends. You need to ask them more than once and see if they like, some other place is itchy when I answer. I would say just asking specific questions. Did you wash your hands? And then they're like, like if there's not an actual yes right away, they probably didn't. And sometimes you'll know different people have different takes, okay? If you know somebody really well, you kind of know when they're lying. Hello, thank you for the favorite. You know when they're lying to you because they say or do something weird, and you're like, bro, I know you're lying. Some people are obvious, and some people are really hard to spot. Okay, and those really hard people to spot do have visual tells. Okay, that's what it's called. It's a visual tell. A visual tell is, like I said, they'll look up, to the right, and up. That's when somebody's trying to think of a lie. Okay, when they're trying to remember something, they'll usually look left and down or up, because it's like it's a bad memory when they're looking down, and trying to remember when they're looking up. But on this side, this is a lie. If somebody's looking straight up and they're trying to like figure out like what they're trying to say, this is a lie, bro. This is also probably a lie, like a lie that they're guilty about if they're looking down. And it's not necessarily always a lie. It's just, it could be that when they're looking down, it's just like they can't look at you. I personally don't really like looking people in the eye anymore because, well, some people have really nice eyes. Hard to get lost in them shit. So, I'm just kidding, but, different people have different tells, okay, but a lot of them are, universal. Okay, so, a lot of the people will use contractions, alright? A particular person will say, oh, I can't do that today. If they're being honest. Now, if they're being dishonest, they'll say, I cannot do that, because it's weird. It's like, wait, cannot? Like, you usually just say can't. It's part of the brain. It's part of the brain where it's like, it's not a fluid thing. It's not a fluid response. It's a cannot. Oh, I cannot do that. Usually, I'm not saying this is an exact way to tell if someone's lying, but a lot of the times, 9 out of 10, they'll say like a weird, they will not contract the word, okay? Thank you. And I would say that it gets difficult, okay? Every person has a different level of ways of telling if they're being honest or not. It's kind of like me. You know how I always use my hands to talk? It's like if I suddenly kept my hands to my side and I was like, well, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? It's way stranger for somebody to not behave the way that they normally behave. And then, trying to like, I mean, I don't really know that I constantly use my hands because I'm not constantly watching myself, but say somebody was to do something different. Say I wasn't to use my hands and I was to give you a whole explanation and da-da-da-da, but I usually use my hands and I'm very, animated, and when I'm trying to explain something like this that is, more important, maybe I won't use my hands so much, but I'll still probably use my hands. So I would say that's a tell, not for just me, but for everyone. If people have a way of doing things and suddenly they're not doing it, I would say, especially if you're asking them specific questions or da 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 da. I'm not saying go out and interrogate these mofos like your friends and family. No, this is like, you need to know who you can trust and follow when it comes to, if you're not a leader. If you're not a leader, you need to at least know the right people to follow, right? And the right people to follow, their life will show, okay? The life will show the reflection of their behavior, okay? So if you have somebody trying to sell you Bitcoin, but they're broke AF, you're probably going to be less likely to believe them over somebody who's selling a Bitcoin and has millions of dollars and pulls up to the place in a Tesla. Which, I'm gonna be honest, I do not like Teslas. No offense to whoever made them, but I don't think Tesla would make something like that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it'd be something way sexier and cooler and more efficient, if anything. I'm not saying that Tesla isn't efficient. It's just not, like, I guess I'm tired of the drivers. It's not a Tesla, okay? I apologize, Tesla. It's the drivers that own your car. They are so, like, I drive a Tesla. I don't care if I get in a car crash. That's been my experience, okay? So, if you have a Tesla, please drive nicely. Or I'm gonna be like, damn it, another Tesla a-hole. Micro expressions. Yeah, okay, yeah, so you know, micro expressions are a huge thing, okay? And those are tells, those are visual tells when a person is being dishonest, or when a person doesn't even like you, y'all. Like I've had to wonder a few times, like, does this motherfucker even like me? Like, he been acting like a stupid mofo the whole damn time, and I'm like, does this fool even like me? Like, and so, like, you ask specific questions, and they will have micro expressions, okay? A person that fucking hates you, they're very micro, okay? It may not be a frown constantly, but that's a sign of disgust, bro. The lips pushed, or the corners, the edges, the corners of the lips forced down is disgust, okay? It can be what? Tension in the stare, tension in the voice, tension in the body, things very tense. Obviously, if somebody is normally around you and they're calm and they're cool and they're collected, and they're suddenly all tense and weird with you, yeah, there's shit going on. And that's the thing, it's like, we can't be like constantly tripping balls thinking every fucking person hates us. They could be going through a moment, you know? So that's what I try, yeah. Like how they stand or whatever. Yeah, I mean, it really depends. Like, okay, say I'm sitting like this, and you ask me a question, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that I think the left leg or the right leg over the left leg is more of a calm, confident posture or sitting position for particular people. But I would say switching it up, if you're ambidextrous, sure. But if you use your right hand, you're probably more comfortable with your right over your left. Me, I'm ambidextrous. I use both hands. So, but it is weird. It is weird to sit with my left leg over my right leg because of the joint muscles. But a lot of the times people just suddenly change, you know, from one leg position to the next, is like because they're doing that within their mind, okay? Within their own mind, trying to search for the answer or the reason or the rhyme. There's very specific little minute triggers, you know, also within people's eyes, the corners of the eyes, and the eyebrows. Oh my god, the eyebrows, just like, it doesn't matter what you do, like, the eyebrows give you away, baby. Like, you know. Understanding, like, I can see people. Yeah, you'll be able to read people over time. So if you're not necessarily like a leader, you gotta at least make sure the people you follow are indeed true. Period. That's all you can do as somebody who's not, you know, okay, I understand I'm not necessarily a leader. At least the person that I follow has to be a legitimate person. Okay, whether it's a money investment, whether it's like a church, a school, a boss. I'm not gonna work for the wrong mofo, okay? and yeah. No, since like, well, for the most part, I would say those types of people there's something in their mind that's switching, you know, and that switch is, it's usually just a way to try to figure out what the hell they're gonna say, because when they switch like that, it's difficult to, it's difficult to really see what's going on in their head, but you could see something outwardly for the most part. So what it is there's an outward response to what they need to do in their mind. So say there's a particular person, they're not animated at all. You know, they don't move around at all, and they're suddenly moving around all the time when they speak. It's like, were you telling the truth then or now? there's different types of people, and sometimes maybe like they don't even notice. See, these micro expressions, these micro things that people do, you can notice the subtleties of it. And that's the thing, is like a lot of people try to use this to their advantage, but it's like there's not really a way to use this to your advantage other than trying to see if people are lying to you or not. Thank you. And you know, if somebody is lying to you, it should be easy over time. It might not be easy at first to tell if somebody's lying to you, but like I said, the 2 truths and a lie. Thank you. The 2 truths and a lie test, it usually really helps, because then you can see how somebody looks when they're lying. Now, this is like for important stuff. You don't want to just do this to your friends and family and stuff, because it's evasive. It's invading their privacy. This is more for like, it's very important. Okay, you want me to explain the test? Alright, well, I mean, for the most part, it's like, I ask you 3 questions that are true, and 1 question that you have to lie about. And when somebody starts to lie, they'll automatically start to look at you, and then look this way, and then look that way, and then look this way, and then look back at you. It honestly, it never fails. Like, I've never seen somebody respond to the truths and a lie exactly the same way. So somebody will be way more comfortable telling you the truth than lying to you. Okay? And that's pretty much it. Yeah, I don't think that's a thing that I'm aware of. So anyways, a lot of people out here are, you know, they can follow the wrong person, alright? And they could be led by riches, okay? But a person who has like a lot of money, they're usually greedy. They don't want to share. They don't want to help others either. So why would they be coming to you? You need to start asking the questions as to why would you, if you're this millionaire, why would you work with people so beneath you? Or whatever, whatever little questions you have for these people. They might give you a good answer, depending on how good they are, how good of a con man or con woman they are, you know, and this is a very specific scenario. So say you ask, okay, you're the owner of Batcoin. What is keeping you from pulling out all of the money and closing this entire thing down? Because that's what normally people do with coins, with Bitcoins. And it depends on what their answer is, you know. How do they answer that answer? What words did they use? Did they use specific words that can guarantee a long standing, or did they use specific words that made you feel uncomfortable and unsure? Because that's a huge thing. That's true, yeah. No, yeah, for sure. It definitely depends on who you're working with, because some people are definitely, thank you for the gift, some people are definitely better at lying than other people. And the thing is like, the proof is in the pudding. Over time, if you don't trust someone, and you kind of just allow other people to trust them for you, over time, you will see, okay? I'm not saying over time. Some people you won't figure out until a certain time, okay? And that's why I say when you're following people, okay, if you're a follower, you don't have the ability to think for yourself, I would say, are the things they're telling you, are they good for you? Are they making you happy? Do you feel abused? You know, there's this thing in your head you'll freak out. You know, if somebody's trying to tell you to do something that you know you're not supposed to do, it sends off alarm bells. And they'll try to do things to try to coax you into doing it anyway. Well, all of your other peers have done it. That's peer pressure. You'll know if they're a good person if they're peer pressuring you, or they're pressuring you in any kind of way. If it's a good thing for you, why do they need to pressure you into doing it? I don't know about the ads. I think the ads are what, I think Meet Me is a little bit on the greedy side. They don't need to be putting ads in. We get plenty of ads as it is. There's this one ad that I really like. It's like this super fat lady, and like she puts this thing over her stomach, and like she's suddenly like perfect. All over, not just on her stomach, but like even her arm fat, like everything's gone. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm definitely gonna buy that. But, you know, it's not true. Like, obviously, a lot of the times when something isn't legitimately true, it's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous lie. And a lot of the times it would just be over time that you can finally get to see that somebody's doing something underhanded. And it always comes out. That's the thing, is the truth always comes out. It doesn't matter how fucking long something takes, the truth always surfaces to the top. So we don't, as followers, we shouldn't jump on every little bandwagon. Okay, as a follower, we need to kind of think for ourselves a little bit before fully investing. And once you fully invest, if something doesn't seem right to you, there is no reason you can't just leave that situation unless it's like a binding contract. And if it's a binding contract, I would go get lawyers and blah blah blah. I'm not gonna sit there and trust some person that, you know, that it's gonna benefit. I need to take this information to be read over by some a third party, an individual who has no, you know, who has no, I don't know what it is. It's like they don't benefit from it or not benefit, because either way they're getting paid to tell you what is legitimate or not. And so thank you, I guess. I don't really know. But basically what I'm trying to say is, like, it takes time to really spot some of these really good liars, okay? And it really depends on what it is. Now, we're talking about our livelihoods. Cash, money. We're talking about, you know, investing. Now, you if you want to invest in specific things, you should be able to go look on the other people who have invested, and you should be able to contact them if possible, and ask them questions. Now, I'm not saying you got to do this with every little damn thing, but I'm just saying if you're trying to do something that may or may not get you effed over, okay? So that's kind of what, thank you for sending good vibes. So anyways, a lot of the things that we need to do are going to be kind of really just reviewing things on our own, okay? If you're not very observant, maybe you could record, you know, video record, audio record. If somebody's if somebody's legitimately trying to help you, and like, you know, it's not something that's harmful, they should be happy with you recording them. Just like in college, you know, like, I want to review this later, so I should be able to record whatever you're saying so that I can look back on it later and analyze it, if you're being honest or not. Like, that's pretty much it, you know. So that's pretty much what a lot of people actually have to do. So, a lot of these people don't quite get, okay, when you're trying to lie, you have to fabricate a lot of things, okay? And when you fabricate things, there are things that are called loose ends, okay? Every fabrication has a loose end, where there's the truth and then the exposure of the lie. Okay, and so these loose ends can be found if looked for properly. Okay, maybe somebody says, okay, if you invest in this, you'll get this much money. But then the next time she says, well, I invested in this and I made this much money. So it's like, what's the true one? Is it the one that you made, or is it the one that, you gotta ask the right questions, alright? Let me see. Consumer side. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, honestly, looking at the actual program before getting involved, really just meditating over it, talking with a lawyer, and somebody that wants you to risk things, it's like, well, you might as well go to the casinos. You might as well take your money and go to a casino and see what happens there. If you're just gonna risk it, I would rather risk it on a game of Pai Gow, or I don't even know how to play Pai Gow, to be honest. But I could figure it out, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I mean, if you wanna gamble, you might as well go to the casino. 'Cause I'm not saying that this is like, oh, it's just a small investment. This is like, you're following this person. This is like, you might get indoctored into some kind of cult, and you don't even know, because you're not looking at all of the signs. You just be ignoring really important things. And it's like, yeah, it's cool to relax, but it's also cool to not get ripped off. Yeah, being aware and having your eyes open and listening and really being present in the moment. Okay, thank you. Yeah, being present in that moment and being able to collect all the information. And if you can't, I would say that's not the thing for you. Okay, if your mind is frazzled and working 1,000,000 miles per hour to figure something out, it's probably not for you, babe. Oh, okay. My bad. No, okay, yeah, controlled risk. I guess. I mean, everything's kind of a controlled risk in the long run. Nothing is fucking guaranteed in life. So in a kind of a way, everything in life is somewhat of a gamble. So, just having the knowledge behind things can help you make the right decisions. And it could really save you from a lot of BS that you don't want to deal with. That's all. And so it could be very difficult. Most people be under control. Okay, well, I mean, that's different. This is that's a choice, y'all. People choose to be, addicted to their cell phones and whatnot. But, obviously some of those people are little kids, and they're like, oh, look, I could get a new iPhone. I know that's a lie. A lot of these people already know. They already know, okay, even if it's on my cell phone, it doesn't mean I could trust it. So we have to think more tactical in the sense that, like, is this person being honest to me? Is this contract I'm signing, like, is it good for me? Is it bad for me? Does it give them all of the good stuff and me only a little bit of good stuff? Read that fucking shit through. Don't just sign things because you're like, hey, money, Mr. Krabs. But yeah. Well, it doesn't matter how nice of a person you are. You could still get fooled into things that, that aren't good. Like I said yesterday, I could be the best girl, the nicest, littlest, sweetest baby girl in the world, and somebody will still fucking hate me. So it doesn't matter what your intentions are. It doesn't matter what your behavior is. It matters how somebody comes in and tries to utilize that for themselves, okay? That's pretty much it. I would say that, I mean, you go into the situation like that, but I'm teaching a little bit above that. I'm teaching above, just coming in with your own you know, am I being told the truth mindset. These are little extra, these are extra things. You shouldn't go into a place that, you know, you're not quite sure of, or especially if you're like, well, I've lied about this and I've done that. You can't actually project, though. See, that what you're doing is projecting. You're projecting your own behavior onto another person, which actually isn't really fair. Just to be honest with you, because somebody might have a different tactic than you. Somebody might have a different thing you don't know about. And that's what I'm trying to say is, like, we need to notice the subtleties of the way, the tones in their voice, the way that they look, the way that they say when they say the things, the words that they use. They use very specific words that could be dismantled. You know, there are wordplay. There is wordplay. I could say, you know, it's like that one guy who got confused when she said, you know, I'm gonna flip this coin. Heads I win, tails you lose. Wait, what? So I lose either way? See, there's different, like, words that could be used in order to fool someone. It could say, like, straight out, alright? But words have different meanings. And so if they're not being concrete with the words that they're using, so that later they could say, oh, well, I said this. That's what you gotta be worried about. That's what you gotta be worried about, is you're a follower. You cannot think for yourself. This is the littlest bit you should do. You know, and if you find someone that's telling the truth and that's good and offering you something right, then please, by all means, do what you're called to do. But if there's you know, there's things out there that are making you feel like, okay, maybe I can't trust this person, maybe I can't, you know, you don't feel comfortable, okay? If you don't feel comfortable in any kind of way, that should be a red flag to start with. If you feel uncomfortable or uneasy, that should be the first one, right? Yeah, I don't have worry or guilt, or because it's not really something that's you know, if the person you're talking to that's trying to sell you life insurance or whatever, if it looks worried or guilty, yeah, I would be worried about that. I'd be worried about that. Not everybody's good at lying. But there's no concrete way for me to say, oh, this is the exact thing that somebody does when they're lying. There's just tells. There are tells, and not every little tell is the truth or not. That's why people need to be more observant. They need to be, you know, observing people more, talking less, and, you know, reading between the lines. And me personally, like, I don't really do all this because I'm a leader. I don't give a fuck what you selling. I'm doing good on my own, bitch. I don't give a fuck. I ain't trying to make $1 million in profit. If I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do that with the fuck I have, not somebody helping me. Fuck you. That's me though. Okay, so I'm trying to help the people that, you know, they need to look towards someone else. Alright? And it's not fair because there's a lot of people that act so great. Like, you think of all these cult leaders and you think about how did they get all them people and da-da-da-da. It's because they manipulated the fuck out of them. They treated them badly too. They don't actually treat the people that they're getting involved nice. They pressured them. So the moment you feel pressured into doing something, get the fuck out of it. That's my real advice. If you actually want advice from me, if you're not comfortable, leave. Period. You know, and that's it. I think there was this girl, she was gonna go get her boobs done because her boyfriend was telling her to do it. And she felt really uncomfortable, and I don't know what she did, but she's like, you know what, the moment that I started to feel uncomfortable, I left. And I was like, that's good! You have great boobs! You don't need big watermelon implants! That shit's annoying. Like, the bigger a woman's chest, just for a side note, the bigger a woman's chest is, the more uncomfortable they are. Okay? and she felt uncomfortable. So, like, the moment you feel uncomfortable, that's the best time to leave, if any. Once you start doing things, you're stuck. I mean, you're not permanently stuck, but you'll feel stuck. You'll feel like, well, I put in all this time and all this effort into this thing. It's very difficult to walk away from something that you've put in time and effort into. And, you know, this could even be, I was looking up the Escaping Twin Flames. It's on Netflix. It's old. It's about a cult that lies to people about finding their true love. They're like, you are guaranteed to find your true love. And no one can guarantee that. No one. The lady who paints your future soulmate, we have not seen that lady paint an actual person that they've been soulmates with. These are all just people, like, hoping and wishing and dreaming that they meet who they love, and they're being manipulated by it. So you gotta think about that too. Is this something that I really, really want, that somebody could manipulate me over? Okay? Is this something that I want so badly, I'll believe anything to do it? You gotta think of that very, very carefully. Okay? That's what the meditation is about. It's not necessarily like meditating and not thinking about anything and, I mean, yeah, it could be. But a lot of the times our meditation is just quiet, silent thoughts. Like, what do I get out of this? Is it realistic? Is it feasible? Is it something that could really be done? Are there other people that can testify that it's possible? You know, and I would say within the Twin Flames, Escaping Twin Flames thing, they actually didn't have anyone that was together. Okay, there was one couple, and that was the cult leader and his wife, or whatever the hell she was. He basically just lied to these people and kept promising, oh, you'll get it, you'll get your true love, you'll get this, you'll get that. And the more that he could string them along, the harder and harder it was for them to leave. Especially because they wanted to find their true loves. And I don't know if a lot of people are still stuck in it, but I mean, it's kind of sad. It's like, you know, people selling you a dream. So you gotta think to yourself, okay, I'm not very good at making decisions. I have to step back. You know, you gotta know yourself too. You gotta know, have I made great decisions that made me happy for many, many years of my life? What decisions have I made? Did I actually make those decisions on my own? Okay, yeah, I made some good decisions on my own, and they were based on what? What were they based on? Probably good intentions, probably good things. You're probably not, you know, trying to, I don't know. I don't even want to know, okay? I'm just saying that whatever it is that we try to get in our lives, we need to make sure we're not being used and abused in the process. Okay, especially if you're not a leader type. Especially if you're going to believe what other people say. Especially if you're not good at, you know, making sure people are being honest with you. Especially if you're investing a lot, okay? These people were investing hours and hours and hours every day, like after work. They had to do a Zoom meeting with these cult leaders, and, you know, eventually these people, some of them actually got gender reassignments. And I'm not laughing at them like, oh my god, it's so funny. It's just, it's more of like a, wow, it actually got that far. That it's like, they actually told these people they needed to get a gender reassigned so that they could date within the cult. Because they were all women by that point. He was only keeping women in the loop. And all these women were miserable. They weren't happy. Apparently they're still not happy. And I'm gonna guess that eventually he's gonna say, oh, I'm your soulmate, and try to get all these people, these weirdos, you know, to sleep with him. Cause he's weird. He's a weirdo, okay? I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. The people who want to use and manipulate you have issues far beyond our control. Okay? Thank you. The kitty cult does not exist unless you have a cat on your lap and a cup of tea or coffee and you watch me every morning. That's the only... I mean, or you could just have your kitty cup like me. Where are you, babe? You could have your kitty cup, right? You could just be drinking your morning tea with me. Or, I don't... Was that alcohol? What was that? Alcohol? I'm just kidding. I think it was tea from yesterday. Y'all! How did I not watch this hoe? But anyway, yeah. It could be very difficult to say no. Especially if you're used to saying yes. But sometimes you gotta stand up for yourself. And be like, well, this isn't working out for me. You know? Like, maybe one of these days I'll have to do that for myself, you know? And I usually don't, because I make sure that I make long-standing choices. You know, if you are a follower, I could show you how a leader does it. A leader doesn't need anyone else. We kind of just do what the fuck we know to do. We do the research before we get involved. Before we spend the time going forward. Alright? And that's gotta be important. Anyways, yeah, it could be difficult to see when somebody's being honest or not, and a lot of the times you could tell, okay? There's energy behind stuff. I don't know if, you could tell when something's genuine and when something's not. You could tell when a person's bad at acting or when a person's really good at acting. You're not gonna believe a specific really bad actor. Like, I'm crying. That's me crying, guys. Did you believe that? No, because obviously it wasn't genuine. It was stupid and no tears came out. Thank you. You gotta be able to see through the lies, see through the bullshit, and it's not that hard, honestly. If you think about the things that you've experienced in your life when people were lying to you or where people were being dishonest about things, it was always too good to be true. Okay? And a lot of those things that were too good to be true, they costed money. Or a little bit of money. Oh, just give us only $500,000 and you'll get like a bajillion. I mean, yeah, it depends on what it is, that you're doing, but a lot of the times you'll be able to know when something's true or not. It's like the ShamWow guy. He could show you that his ShamWow was able to soak up all the liquid. There was evidence, okay? There was evidence to that shit. He could prove it on the spot, yo. And that's proof, that's evidence. If you can't see it with your own eyes, you're gonna have to ask more questions to get your answers, alright? Right. He was in several movies. I think he was in the last movie I saw, it was Molly? Mike and Molly? No, it wasn't Mike and Molly. It was Adam Sandler's twin fucking thing. I can't even remember. But anyways, long story short, very, very long. we gotta think for ourselves, and it can be really, really difficult to see the truth sometimes. But if you sit by yourself and you meditate on the answers, a lot of the times you'll start to discover this is for me or it's not for me. And honestly, a lot of the times, if I have to think about something too long, it's probably not for me. Because as a leader, the moment I know something is for me, I know it's for me. I just know. It's just something inside my stomach that's like, yeah! Alright, I hope you guys had a great day or night. I hope this helped you in any kind of way. Thank you for all the gifts. You guys are so sweet. Have a great one.